Since the beginning of time, women have traditionally woven things such as scarves. Today, not many men participate in this activity. Men have not gravitated toward this type of activity for a couple of reasons. Number one, nature has made society dictate that women are into these type of homemaking and family type nurturing activities. Secondly, men are more prone to be out hunting. And men form their relationships in generally a larger group. Thus, peer pressure reinforces that avoidance of femininity or femininity. These ideas are expressed in the article, The Significance of the Traditional Roles of Men and Women, and in the book, The 49% Majority, and in the essay, The Positive Psychology of Men. In this video, every picture is taken a bit by me and everybody on film is actually me. So I fulfill the traditional role by society and biology and nature of what men do. The hunting, the stealthiness, the going to the army and going to sniper school. I think in doing this leisure activity, it has made me see those walls and barriers that do separate these kind of things. I mean, I love to make things, as you'll see. I make bows and arrows in this video. It's my one of my work. I sell and teach archery lessons. You know, and in doing this, I can see how it relates to our class and what we've covered in all regards of history, feminism, and culture, and even biology, like I mentioned before, where you know, women are expected not to do those things that I do, such as being out there. I mean, that's not the traditional role, and I suspect that it's there for some sort of reason. I think I never really considered this beneath me or totally being feminine, and I shouldn't pursue weaving and weaving a scarf or something like that as I weave and work on these bows and arrows and various things. And then later you'll see a woven basket quiver I made. But it's just that I didn't have time, and I think I would eventually have got to it actually. But nevertheless, it has shown me the differences in these roles. You can sort of get that feeling from chapter 7, Just Do It, and the article points to women doing activities for socially versus men for competition versus over social. So you see that sitting around and knitting and doing things that require you to be still and talk is quite good. Traditionally speaking, no chauvinism here, and that's cool. And it also relates highly to what I believe that we read in the Many Voices, Historical Perspectives, Family and Women's Leisure, that women are held sacred as as reproduction that further the species. And so I felt quite safe sitting in one place doing this weaving. So I can kind of see how it's, goes hand in hand with, in a way, what nature and how nature has shaped our roles. And both sexes have these constraints on their leisure activities. For instance, not many women go hunting, or still many men do any weaving, as cited by Dr. Darla Bodkin in her book, in her journal essay, Changing Marriage Role Expectations, that they come into these and are grown with these ideas of what they should be doing, even in this free society and full of leisure time. Other than getting a little frustrated, the only challenge I really had about this was sitting still. I'm usually, like you can see by the videos, on the go, but it really, forced me to be still and think and go into a different place in myself, which was quite interesting. I wanted to do something like this actually, and this was a great way to force me to do it. So I'm happy, and I just happened to find something online on YouTube regarding finger weaving, and thus I turned it and modified it into this strange sort of loom device because I wanted a wider scarf. What I've learned is that this is can be a very social bonding experience for women. I can see sitting there and just really communicating and getting some things learned and things off your chest. I think men could learn to slow down and think things through and maybe be a little bit more consistent in the things they do or I do. In an essay called Gender Role Conflict, it talks about men having an inability to deal with their emotions. And sitting here doing these scarves, or something like that, made me think, and I think would make all men have to think about the past, thus emotions, and sort of deal with them a lot. My wife and I have switched gender roles to some degree. She's more of the provider now, as she makes more money than me, but yet we have not switched those traditional leisure activities such as I hunting and photography, natural outdoor photography, and her doing the more traditional woman's roles. And this is backed up from a gender role study called The Trend Towards Gender Role Reversal, in which it states that. An article published last month in the journal The Gender Role Reversal, titled I Made a Woman of Him, talks about how when you do break these barriers of participating in non-traditional roles, that you do gain something such as, for me, more awareness towards certain things. I definitely will participate in another type of activity like this because I believe that looking at things and participating in things from a feminine point of view makes you more aware to things like your children and to some of the more things in life that you're able to miss if you're a man. Like I said, the biggest thing is I've learned how to pay a little bit better attention, and that is very important.